Oh boy. You know, ladies and gentlemen, it's just easy to hate on Ubisoft and basically just, talk about how bad of a company they are. Now, I wanted to just make this video because I like to combat things like misinformation. I like to also, really just give people an understanding of something that is a complicated topic that I constantly see being talked about on the internet that I just want to help dispel, okay? So Ubisoft is a company that has been going through some rough times, okay? Recently, they're on the precipice of releasing like Assassin's Creed Shadows at some point in the near future, and that game has its own super tier of controversy, okay? Now, as somebody that's played every single Assassin's Creed game from like all the way back in AC1 to Mirage, and that's literally due to the fact that it's like a sunk cost fallacy. Like, I think I'm like just I think I'm literally just a battered gamer for them that just keeps sticking around, okay? I keep hoping the modern day story comes back to some proper extent. I'm always conveniently disappointed. And to give an idea, all right, Assassin's Creed Shadows is on the mark. It got delayed, and some of the new gameplay came out, which again, like Assassin's Creed games, all look beautiful. And I started seeing these level icons, these mid-tier smoke effects, and I thought, yeah, it kind of looks a lot like Assassin's Creed Revelations with the whole bomb throwing and whatnot. But maybe it'll be good. Maybe it'll be fine. Maybe it'll be poggers. Then there was a whole bunch of stuff that came out, ladies and gentlemen. For instance, apparently half the dev team never worked on a video game before. Now, when you read a headline like that, it's a little bit mind-boggling. You're like, whoa! What do you mean half the team working on effectively what is the fucking Call of Duty for Ubisoft didn't develop a game before? And this is where obviously context matters. So I'm going to do what 99% of people that don't read the headlines do. I'm going to just scroll down, do a little bit of that. And of course, it'll tell you that a lot of people working at Ubisoft currently has a lot of junior people on the team. Yeah, I wonder why when you have a massive amount of layoffs, right? Like, goddamn. There's more entry-level developers that haven't experienced a cycle that, the developer in this question is talking about. Coat. Probably half the team that's building an Assassin's Creed is building a game for the first time. They don't know. You have to explain it to them, even though they're playing the game right now, and they think it's the worst thing they've ever seen. It's gonna be good. Yeah, you gotta explain to a bunch of fucking game developers that alpha code that looks like you're just recording shit in boxes. AI doesn't work properly. The game's running at like 8 frames a second. You haven't optimized the engine for shit. Yeah, that's not what the final game is gonna look like. Which really screams to me what level of game developers and programmers they bought in that think alpha level code will even resemble something decent, okay? Games don't start looking good towards the tail end of their development cycle when you start putting everything together, okay? I guarantee you GTA 6 looked like dog shit until they started finally putting the game together. But really, the brunt of this video is one thing that I read on Reddit over here, okay? So on PC Gaming 2 days ago, there was one post where it's like, Assassin's Creed Shadows will feature Denuvo. Now, any game featuring Denuvo is honestly like a kick in the dick. I literally do not buy games if I detect Denuvo in them, okay? Now, Denuvo, for anybody that doesn't know, is an anti-cheat, and it's probably one of the most annoying anti-cheats, especially if you're like a Linux gamer or somebody that also has like multiple devices, like a Steam Deck or a computer. You probably have tried to fire up like a Denuvo game on your Linux system if you're a Linux gamer, like every once in a while, and maybe you might be flipping through Proton versions or compatibility layers, and you get locked out of your $60 purchase for 24 hours because you've used more than 5 computers at once. You ever switch between your Steam Deck and your PC and maybe, anything else? Congratulations, you locked yourself out of your game for 24 hours. Why the fuck does my $60 purchase hinge on this shit fucking company requiring me to constantly why? Okay? Why do they require me to have like all this hardware? As long as I'm signed in through Steam, okay? All right? As long as there's only one person launching the game on a connected fucking Steam account, you should need to put me through activation windows, okay? It's insanity, all right? What is this? Anyways, you read down a little bit further, okay? It has account linking, and the EULA allows you to monitor your computer's RAM? Now that's a little shocking, okay? It almost sounds like fucking Assassin's Creed might be spying on you, Ubisoft might be spying on you a little bit. But I want to just demystify this and kind of explain just why a single-player game would do that. So for instance, if you go to their Steam page, they say it incorporates that shit-tier Denuvo and DRM 5-day machine limit. Thank God. Requires a third-party account, which I just want to stress and ask a question. Like, this is not me being a douchebag. If you're somebody who is purchasing a video game on Steam that requires you to use another launcher, why? I mean, it's kind of like putting on another condom on top of your condom, okay? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Why do I need to have multiple fucking launchers to access a $60 offline game, okay? Multiple launchers. I swear to God, it's one of the biggest cancers on PC gaming, okay? One launcher. Just stick to one launcher. Anyways, so you go back to the page. Requires agreement to a third-party EULA. So, okay, let's read the EULA real quick, okay? So we're at Steam's, we're at the EULA for this game. So if you go all the way and you just search up memory, it asks you in consent to monitor. Oh, it sounds spooky. When you are using the product may monitor your hardware's random access memory, okay? So your computer's RAM, all right, basically gets to be peeked around inside for, you know, however long you're playing the game, just so you're not running anything nefarious alongside Ubisoft's most keynote Japanese Assassin's Creed game. So according to section 1.2, all right, where they kind of talk about the stuff right over here, around the third section, create, use, and or distribute auto, trainer, script, or macro computer programs or other cheat or hack programs or software applications for this product, okay? So that's kind of, all right, where they're going for, all right? So whether in an online multiplayer game or in a single-player game over the internet or in local area network, okay? So remove, alter, disable, or circumvent any copyright and trademark indications or other authorship and origin information. So this right here, ladies and gentlemen, is what we call a boilerplate mention. Basically, this is probably, if I had to hazard a guess, and I'm just kind of throwing a shot in the dark here, this would probably be something that you'd find in like Rainbow Six Siege, For Honor, or any of Ubisoft's multiplayer-focused games, as they constantly reference either the multiplayer or the single player. So to go back to this consent to monitor, what they ended up going with saying, and in the event that the product detects such an unauthorized third-party program, information may be communicated back to Ubisoft, including the name of your account, so your computer's IP address or your network's IP address, details about the unauthorized third-party program detected, and the time and date that the unauthorized third-party program was detected. Then they get an idea of your hardware specifications and the performance characteristics of your hardware. Now, the thing about what we're seeing over here is obviously, look, Ubisoft's got a really shady history with, like, DRM. You can go back to Assassin's Creed 2 on the PC with, like, this insane online requirement. But, nowadays, Ubisoft has a lot of these, like, in-game, like, skin packs. And I'm not talking about, like, DLC expansions, like something that would actually give you meaningful gameplay. I'm talking about literally cosmetics, where Ubisoft will provide you, like, futuristic-looking cosmetics or tie-in cosmetics. Like, any Assassin's Creed game post AC Origins comes with one of these, where you can spend a crap ton of Helix credits to not only get better cosmetics, but there's also time saver packs. So if you're actually tired by Ubisoft's like grind, you can pay for a little time saver XP booster that'll make sure you cut down the amount of XP that you really have to gain by doing all the monotonous bullshit. Now, if you're on the PC platform as opposed to the consoles, and you had like two brain cells to rub together, then you probably use Cheat Engine or something like this, very similar, where you could hook into the game and actually scan for values that you wanted to change. So values like money, values like XP, and just give yourself more XP and more money. So instead of grinding, you could actually save time and play the content you found meaningful. Which I think there's really no issue with that, especially with a single-player game. I've done this with games like Cyberpunk 2077, where instead of like constantly grinding for money, if I needed to get like an extra cash infusion, I just cheat the money in. It's a single-player game, no harm, no foul. Now, Assassin's Creed games have not had a multiplayer component since, like, I think Assassin's Creed Unity, which had co-op, but before that there was an adversarial, like, 4-on-4 mode, which was really fun. But now all these games are single-player RPGs. So if all of a sudden a company like Ubisoft can decide to remove you because you're modifying their, microtransaction currency or maybe any other value from the game is actually just patently absurd. And the thing is, clearly this is what Ubisoft wants to go for. Like, there's clearly enough of a incentive monetary hit that they have to mention these things even for single player games. They would rather you spend $10 to $15 to get like a cosmetic pack or the time saver pack. And anytime you go and download a trainer or you modify this via cheat engine, it absolutely chaps their ass that people do that. And I guess them being more definitive about this just shows that it's probably become a problem they can't ignore. And ultimately, at the end of the day, should I think that you as a gamer should be respectful of Ubisoft when it comes to cheating in a single player game? I personally think absolutely not, okay? I think you should totally be allowed to cheat in a single player game. You're not harming anybody else's experience. This is purely just you by yourself. Now, if Ubisoft detects you running the software, I assume they're probably going to go out of their way to maybe ban you from access, or at least that's what it sounds like. And that's really what the memory scanning shit comes from. Now, I think cheat engine should absolutely be allowed for really any single player game. I understand multiplayer games do this all the time. Even multiplayer games like Elden Ring, which you play with your friends by your own choice, but you also go with some adversarial stuff as you engage with the, co-op mechanic. And when that happens, understandably, ladies and gentlemen, you got to have some anti-cheat to make sure somebody doesn't have cheat engine or a cheat running, so somebody with infinite health can't run around and just kill everyone. It would be absolutely a bummer. But for a single player game like Assassin's Creed, adding in a clause like this or keeping it enabled just shows that Ubisoft is at some real trying times. They want to make sure that you pay for microtransactions, and that's all what it really comes to. But when it comes to the topic of Assassin's Creed, the scanning the memory was happening anyways, and that was mostly happening through how Denuvo and a lot of these anti-cheats and DRMs work, which, if you're concerned about your computer's privacy, it's not Assassin's Creed that is the only game on the market that does this. If you are genuinely worried about shady DRMs, then on PC, it's probably advisable you don't purchase games with those shady DRMs, which is usually the only reason why I have a PlayStation, just so I can buy the game there and never have to complain about my PC getting absolutely butt-fucked by these shady pieces of software where game companies feel okay to scan my memory just because they're scared that I'm running a cheat engine to get myself any form of in-game currency, through obviously, shady methods in their minds. But it's a single player title, okay? Like, at the end of the day, I don't care what these companies think. I don't care if Ubisoft gets mad that I don't pay $10 for a cosmetic pack. People have been doing this since, Cheat Engine was made. People have been doing this since the dawn of gaming. So if Ubisoft thinks that all of a sudden they're going to revoke access because people have been using Cheat Engine a little more than they should, this is just another reason why you probably shouldn't get Assassin's Creed Shadows. But I could see that this EULA that they're providing most definitely feeds, because it's a general EULA, to other Ubisoft titles as well. Look, Ubisoft is in a really weird space. It's not like the games they make are actually that great. And for the games that they are making, if all of a sudden in their clauses they can revoke access because you don't feel that you really want to pay for a $20 microtransaction pack, or it doesn't even really have to matter if you're affecting their microtransactions. Imagine if all you're doing is just hacking in the earnable, in-game currency in a single player title. At what point, okay, does that even matter? Okay, at what point? It's not like there's a leaderboard that you're competing with in Assassin's Creed games as far as I'm concerned. It's literally a single player RPG. If you want to hack in better gear, if you want to hack in money, which I actually think is great, because you're saving yourself so many hours if you do that, you can experience actual meaningful parts of the game versus tens, if not hundreds of hours of fluff. I don't know why Ubisoft would be against it, but if they're willing to revoke access to a game or have that in their clause, then I think the discussion people are having is good. Don't buy it. Don't buy the game. Simple as that. But ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to kind of talk about this because it's not something that's super exclusive to what Ubisoft or Assassin's Creed is doing. I think a lot of that is getting played for outrage clicks. But if you're somebody who has just started paying attention and noticing DRMs and the amount of leeway that companies are taking in their end user license agreements to monitor your computer, then maybe, you can, decide where your $60 goes. There's plenty of games that are not Assassin's Creed okay, that are far better than Assassin's Creed, that deserve your $60, okay? And you might as well spend money towards them. So ultimately, if you're kind of waking up and you want to get away from this world, then you really do have to vote with your wallet, okay? So, let me know what you think in the comment section below. If you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Just like if you dislike it, I am out.